In this video, we are covering episode 3 of my Amazon FBA Wholesale series. In this episode, we are covering the skills, demands, and fundamentals of Amazon FBA Wholesale. Let's jump right into it. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Brad Sherman, and on this channel we explore tips, strategies, and experiences that I have had that will help you start and build up your Amazon FBA wholesale business. Welcome, guys, and for those that are new, you are joining in the middle of the Amazon FBA wholesale series. Right now we are on episode 3. So if you guys have not watched episodes 1 and 2 yet, episode 1 covers the fundamentals of starting a wholesale business, and episode 2 covers the fundamentals of Amazon FBA. Episode 3 will dive deeper into what wholesale is all about. So if you guys haven't watched those 2 episodes yet, I'll link those up above for you guys to check out. This episode, we are going to dive deeper into the wholesale process, and this video is going to be broken down into 3 parts. Part number 1 is going to be how Amazon FBA Wholesale differs from other business models and why it's more advantageous from those other business models. And the other business models that I'll be comparing it to is retail and online arbitrage and private label. Secondly, we are going to cover who wholesale is for and who it is not for. So we'll go into some of those skills and demands that wholesale requires and see if you are cut out to build an Amazon wholesale business. And part number 3, we're going to cover the entire process of wholesale from start to finish. So make sure you guys watch this video to the end, because toward the third part of the video, I'm going to be covering from start to finish what it looks like to start a wholesale business and the process that you have to take step by step in order to scale that business. Before we jump into it, while it's really important that we all are scaling our wholesale business, it would also really help me out if you guys scaled this YouTube channel by hitting the like button down below. And while you're down there, if you guys do want to subscribe and stay up to date on all future content in this series, feel free to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. I've said this in other videos, and in my opinion, the best way to scale a business on Amazon is through the Amazon FBA wholesale model. And the reason for this is because by nature, it is a scalable business model. You are purchasing replenishable products that you have to just keep in stock, and as long as all of your accounts are in stock, you always have inventory that's selling. Of course, now we're dealing with lots of supply chain and logistics issues, so a part of that is out of our control, but the overall fundamentals of wholesale make it a great way to scale a business on Amazon. Let's say, you make $3, $4, $5 per unit on a particular product. That might not sound that great, right? One product that makes you $3 or $4, but it's about scaling that over and over again. And just to put it all into perspective for you guys and give you guys a little bit more of a reason of why we use profit and ROI as such an important indicator, let's say you make $3 profit per unit on one particular item. And let's say this is a 30% ROI. So you have to spend $10 and you make 3. Spend 10, make 3. Let's say this product gets you 10 sales per day. So $30 profit per day. You have one account that's generating you $30 profit per day. You are selling 10 units of that item per day, and it's at a 30% ROI. So $30 profit per day, doesn't sound great. I mean, it's once you set up that account and you keep your inventory in stock, there's a passive component to that because you're just continuously generating $30 a day as long as that product is in stock. For my guys that are new watching this video, I know the experienced guys know this, but $3 profit, 30% ROI is pretty conservative. We take 15, 20% ROIs, but $3 profits is on the low end. While 30% ROI, I would say, is about average. or maybe even a little above average in wholesale. $3 profit per unit is on the low end. There's plenty of items where I make $5 profit, $10 profit, $20 profit. They might sell at different rates, but $3 profit is a conservative estimate. So let's say we take that $3 profit and apply it to 10 different wholesale accounts. So say you have 10 different wholesale accounts now, each making you $30 profit per day, right? You're selling each unit at $3 profit per unit. Well, now instead of $30 a day, assuming all of your inventory is in stock, you're making $300 a day. So you can see how scalable this business can be. And once you put in that upfront work in the beginning and you've built yourself out 10 wholesale accounts, each of those accounts generating you $3 profit, well, now you're making $300 a day. I like to use ROI as an indicator and a goal setter instead of sales. So I know everybody wants to set a certain number for what they want to achieve in sales, but for me, the amount of money that I spend is something that I have direct control over, whereas the amount that I sell is not necessarily 100% in my control. So we know that with this particular product that generates us 10 sales per day, right? We have to sustain 10 sales per day. So let's say we want to hold a 2-week supply, so a 14-day supply on each of our accounts, right? Each of our product accounts. So we have 10 different accounts. Let's just call, for simplistic purposes, let's say we have one product with each of those accounts, right? We haven't forgotten that you could have multiple products within one account, but for now we have one product within each of those accounts. You want to maintain a 14-day supply on each of those accounts. So you have to sustain 100 sales per day, right? Because if we have 10 different accounts, each generating us 10 different sales, we are selling 100 units a day. And you want to keep a 14-day supply, that would be 1,400 units. Now remember, we go back to our return on investment. We spend 10, make 3. Spend 10, make 3. So in 2 weeks, if I want to cover 2 weeks worth of supply, I want to make sure all of my accounts are in stock for a period of 2 weeks. So in order to derive the amount of money that I need to spend, I am essentially just taking my sales volume across 2 weeks, which is 1,400 units, because we're selling 100 units per day, 14 days. In 2 weeks, we have to cover 1,400 units worth of stock, and we said that we're spending $10 per unit. So we have to spend $14,000 every 2 weeks in order to keep our accounts all in stock. $7,000 every week, $28,000 every month. So that is how you break that down, guys. That I think will help you put it into perspective, see how realistic and attainable these numbers are off of conservative estimates, right? 30% ROI, $3 profit. And so really the main difference between Amazon wholesale and let's say retail or online arbitrage is that you're replenishing your inventory on an ongoing basis. Whereas with arbitrage, maybe you get an initial higher return on investment or profit per unit. However, most of the time, retail or online arbitrage is not necessarily replenishable. Can you find replenishable items in the store that you can continue to purchase and make connections with your store manager so that you are setting up a constant stream of products? The answer is yes, you can do that, but it's more difficult than wholesale and it's not as guaranteed as wholesale. With private label, you are taking on more risk in the sense that you don't necessarily know exactly what the sales data is. With wholesale, we can look at the Keepa chart. We know that we're selling name brand products and we can do an assessment of the sales and know how quickly we're going to sell through our inventory. Whereas with private label, there's lots of market research that you have to do. You have to spend a lot of money on PPC advertising and branding, and there's a lot more development that goes into it than with wholesale, where you're just simply analyzing a product and making a purchase based on what you're seeing through your indicators. Let's jump into part number 2 of this video, which is going to cover who wholesale is for and who it is not for. So in my opinion, wholesale is great for someone that is hungry, that is really ready to just roll up their sleeves and get to work. You have to have grit, you have to be persistent, you have to be motivated, and you have to be willing to put the work in up front and delay those rewards for maybe several months down the road until you actually set up accounts. So if you're persistent and you have the ability to, work 8, 10, 12 hours a day on this business, you're going to be successful as long as you follow the right methodology. And we're about to break that methodology down in part number 3 of this video. But I just want to cover what wholesale is not about, or the people that it's not for. Wholesale is not for someone who's looking for quick money or just looking to make a quick buck. I get this a lot where, people think, or they confuse wholesale for being like passive income because you can just ship your products directly to Amazon. This is not a passive business. While I do say that once you've built out your system, it can become more passive, which it can down the road. It'll never be 100% passive. There's always work that has to be put in. And if you want to continue to grow your business and scale, there should be no passive component to your business. So that's what wholesale is a little bit about. If you're someone who really wants to, like I said, roll up their sleeves and get down to business and work hard to grow your business, it is for you. Now, you do not have to have a sales background. You don't have to have a financial background. You can do this and learn the trade, right? I didn't really have much sales experience when I first started this, so I got really good at communicating, building relationships over the phone, and just getting out of my comfort zone and contacting suppliers over the phone that I didn't know through this business. And now at this point, my account closure rate is way more successful than it was in the beginning. And I've gotten very good at how to articulate my points and listen to my suppliers' concerns and really persuade and negotiate different deals. Let's jump into part number 3 of this video, which is what everyone is waiting for, the overall process of wholesale. Step number 1, set up your Amazon account and set up your business licenses. So if you haven't legitimized your business or your Amazon account yet, jump back over to videos 1 and 2, episodes 1 and 2 of this series, which I have linked above in this video. So you're going to want to do that first before you jump into step number 2 of Amazon wholesale, which is sourcing suppliers. With my business model, since I target brands directly for the most part, I do work with distributors, but primarily brands. I am looking to work with small to medium-sized companies. So I'm not looking for, the big name brands such as Nike or Sony, PlayStation, big name brands. Not that you can't make money through distributors with them. I know plenty of people that do, and you can. That's just not my target business model. So because of that reason, we are sourcing smaller to mid-sized companies. How are we sourcing? We primarily utilize reverse sourcing on Amazon, which I have covered in-depth tutorial videos on that, which I will link up above for how to source profitable suppliers on Amazon. There will also be another video coming out on that in a subsequent video in this series. Small to mid-sized companies. The next step that you're going to take is you are going to, once you've built yourself out a list of suppliers, you are going to contact those brands in order to obtain a wholesale account with them. So you're going to utilize phone calls, emails. You're going to have to provide them with value and make yourself stand out from everyone else. Easier said than done, but we will dive more into the specifics of that in this series. And as you guys know, I cover a lot of that in my free private Facebook group. So if you guys want to join that group, I'll leave a link for the Facebook group down below. With supplier contacting, you have to really be contacting a minimum of 50 suppliers per week if you want to see growth. And if you want to see hyper growth, I would say contact close to 100, if not more, per week. Because as we know, our account closure rate is a certain percentage of the total amount of suppliers that we do contact. Step number 4, once you have successfully obtained a price list or a wholesale account, you are going to analyze that price list and make a purchase decision. You will look at things like profit, return on investment, sales velocity, how many sellers are on the listing, are those sellers competitive, is the buy box rotating? all different components that we've discussed, and we'll dive deeper in this series. It's very important that you make an informed purchase decision because you don't want to wind up with inventory that is not going to sell. This can quickly send your business off the rails because if you make enough bad purchase decisions, you're just going to be losing money and you won't have, you won't be growing your business like that. Step number 5 is going along with mitigating risk. We are placing a test order. So a test order is your first order with a supplier, and it is the smallest quantity that you can purchase profitably. So ideally we want to make a profit on a test order. At worst, break even. I try not to ever lose money on a test order, but it's okay to take a lower profit margin on a test order in order to just test the market, make sure your units are going to sell, and then once you sell through that inventory, you can then proceed with a larger order with your supplier. With placing this test order, you will have to coordinate logistics. Is your supplier shipping directly to Amazon with your labels? Are they shipping to you and then you're sending to Amazon? Are you merchant fulfilling the items? You'll have to coordinate payment as well, but it's important with logistics you understand how the products are prepped and what the requirements are. So Amazon might require FNSKU barcodes. They might be eligible for manufacturer barcodes, the items. You might have to polybag the items. They might need to be bubble wrapped even. So Amazon has certain prep requirements on particular items for a reason, and you just want to make sure that if you're selling products, you don't end up purchasing the products and then find out down the road that you have to pay Amazon to do labeling or polybagging and you didn't fit that into your profit margin. Or even worse, you send in inventory that does not meet Amazon's requirements and you get a ding on your account or something of that nature. So you want to make sure you're informed. That's why I enter all of the ASINs that I'm purchasing into Seller Central prior to actually placing that order with the company to make sure that we have all of the prep requirements and understand what Amazon is asking for. Step number 6 is to restock your inventory and continue to make sure that you have stock on everything at all times. This is an ongoing challenge nowadays since we're seeing the lasting effects of the pandemic and supply chain is very difficult right now. I work with tons of suppliers that can't get parts and I'm back ordered and out of stock on a number of different accounts, which does impact sales, but that's why it's important, as we've always said, to go wide and not so much deep. You want to be diversified across a wide range of different wholesale accounts so that, if you run out of stock on 1 or 2 or a few different accounts you don't have inventory on, your sales will make up for it with the other accounts that you do have. Step number 7, most people, think it stops there, but step number 7 I've added on because this is something that's really important if you want to grow and continue to build your business to the point of getting closer to those exclusive agreements. You want to continue to build the relationship with the suppliers that you already work with. While it's important to make new contacts to suppliers, it's critical to continue to build that relationship with your current suppliers, right? Provide them with value. Make them understand that you are a legitimate business and you're looking to work with them long term. And they will see that, and the more value that you provide with them, the more potential you might have to go exclusive with them down the road, or maybe work in a capacity of just, something that's very selective where they're not taking on additional sellers because you can help them understand that there's no reason to take on additional competition. But you have to help them understand that, and that is, the biggest challenge with wholesale. So you can also continue to negotiate pricing as you build that relationship, right? As you place more orders with your supplier, they will be more inclined to give you better pricing because they see that you're a loyal customer that purchases volume frequently. That's it for this video, guys. I hope that helped you understand about the overall process of wholesale and put everything into perspective for you as much as you can. I always say this, wholesale is a very simple business model when it's looked at as I've described in this video, but it's not necessarily easy to execute because it requires a lot of work up front and it requires a lot of different components to manage. So if you guys enjoyed this video, as we help you scale your wholesale business in this series, it would also help me if you guys help me scale this channel by hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys do want to stay up to date on all future content that I put out, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. If you guys have any questions or comments regarding the content that we covered in episode 3, feel free to drop a comment down below, or as always, of course, you're encouraged to post a discussion in the Facebook group as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for episode 4 coming next. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.